Daisy was passionate about sewing another dress on a sewing machine. She loved sewing and making new clothes for people. Her favorite work allowed her to temporarily forget her poor existence, her father's illness, and that the world was unfair to her. Daisy was trying to spend more time at work because she was not happy at home. Her mother had already died, and her father was very ill. But most of all, the girl was frightened and upset by her older brother Harry. He didn't work anywhere, only drank, and waited for Daisy to bring the money. Her sick father could not influence his son, and the girl was too weak to stand up to her older brother. Daisy was afraid to move out of the house because her father would be left unattended. She also feared her brother's revenge. Harry took most of the girl's money, so she couldn't save up. But Daisy wasn't depressed. She worked hard, just like her mother taught her. Chief fashion designer Mr. Atman noted Daisy's diligence and passion for the profession. She was no longer to sew, but to paint new models, offer ideas, and help choose fabrics and accessories. Daisy was proud of her new position at 22. She would very much like to share the joy with her mother. Her mother taught her to sew and instilled a love for modeling and sewing clothes. But her mother died and did not see how intelligent and beautiful her daughter had grown up. Before Daisy climbed the career ladder, she worked as a seamstress with her friend Angela. When Mr. Atman announced that Daisy would now assist him with his new collection, there was no limit to the girl's happiness. Daisy immediately shared with Angela the glad tidings, but for some reason, her friend did not support her and said, "Mr. Atman made you his assistant too quickly. I've been working here longer than you." "Angela, I'd like to get your job, but it's not up to me." So Daisy started making excuses. Angela relented and asked to see Daisy's sketches for Mr. Atman. "What beautiful dresses," said Angela. "You have natural talent." Mr. Atman made the right choice. "Your models look fresh and original." "Well done." Angela looked closely at every sketch of the dress. Daisy was embarrassed by the praise. She was delighted that her friend no longer resented her. The next day, Daisy came to work on her album. She wore a dress that she made herself. It was her favorite dress. It emphasized her beautiful figure, and more importantly, it gave a lovely mood. All night, Daisy drew sketches for Mr. Atman's collection. Daisy knocked and entered the head designer's office. She saw not only Mr. Atman, but Angela in the office room. She had a sketchbook in her hand. Daisy saw it and stopped. Angela's drawings were very similar to Daisy's. Her friend just stole her ideas and pretended to be hers. "Look, Daisy, Angela's ideas are so authentic. How will you please me?" Mr. Atman addressed her. Daisy was very disappointed with her friend's betrayal and could not open her file. She could barely untie the clasps on the cheap cardboard folder. Mr. Atman picked up the sheets, frowned, and began comparing them with Angela's sketches. "She stole my ideas," Angela screamed. "I didn't expect you to do that." But Daisy couldn't say a word. Not only did Angela steal her ideas, but she accused Daisy of stealing. "No doubt Daisy's drawings are more expressive, but I don't need artistic skills, I need original ideas," said Mr. Atman. Daisy was silent. "That's terrible, Daisy," said Mr. Atman. "It's the thieving that angers me the most, especially when people steal ideas." All of Mr. Atman's image was distressing because he liked Daisy for her hard work. "You can't expect anything good from her," said Angela. "Her family is poor and her brother is a thief." Tears poured out of Daisy's eyes. The girl ran out of the office, not understanding where she was going because of the veil of tears. Daisy couldn't keep working for Mr. Atman. She was ashamed, though she wasn't the thief. Daisy was on her way home, thinking how she would tell her father and brother that she had lost her job. So cruelly, she thought, maybe she should have stayed and worked as a seamstress. But no, Daisy couldn't stay because she was wrongly accused of stealing. With every step, Daisy made it harder to come home. Finally, she arrived. The doors were open. It scared Daisy. The girl gently entered the house. In the kitchen, the older brother was sitting and drinking alcohol. "Daisy." "Hello." "When will you bring the money?" Harry asked. Daisy didn't answer anything. and went back to the room where her father used to sit, but her father wasn't there. Daisy went back to the kitchen and asked, "Where's Dad, Harry?" "Oh, our old man must be dead. The doctors took him. He was wheezing a long time. I didn't have time for him," said Harry on the whiskey glass. "The booze won't wait." Daisy's legs hurt. She wanted to hit her brother with hate, but he was much stronger than her. Her brother could have beaten her if she'd just scolded him. "I'm going to my dad's," Daisy said. "Whatever you want, dear sister, but it would have been nice to have some money first for your beloved brother." Daisy ran out of the house. She had little money in her purse, quit her job, and now she was thinking about how to get to the hospital. Daisy stood by the road in despair and looked for passing cars. A car stopped. A young man was sitting in the car. He lowered the window of the vehicle and asked loudly, "Excuse me, am I on the right way to the hospital?" Daisy's heart was racing. "Yes, you're going right." Suddenly, she decided to ask for help and said, "I have to go there, too, urgently. Could you give me a lift?" "Of course, I'd be happy to help," said the lad. "I have very little money," said Daisy. "Don't worry, girl. You show me the way and that'll be enough," said the lad. "My name's Mick." "I'm Daisy," said the girl, and got into the car. The guy turned out to be friendly. He said he would visit his uncle. The guy noticed that Daisy was sorrowful. Mick asked the girl what was wrong with her. Daisy suddenly told him about her friend's betrayal, her dismissal, and her father's illness. "You know, Daisy, I had a rough patch too. I was blind once. We looked for reasons but couldn't find any. I gave myself my word that I would one day see again. One day, after a relentless search and endless visits, the doctors gave its result, and I began to see again." "Cool. You're a strong man," said Daisy. "Thank you. I was making a point, and it wasn't for nothing, because today I figured out why I got my sight back. To see a beautiful girl like you." Daisy was embarrassed by the guy's words and didn't know what to say. "What do you dream of?" Mick asked. "I dream that one day I will create my collection. These will be dresses in which girls and women will bloom like flowers." "It's a wonderful dream," said Mick. "Believe in yourself. My aunt runs the atelier, of course, not as big as Mr. Atwood's agency." "I didn't know," said Daisy. She felt ashamed for telling a guy her problems she didn't know, and grateful for the sympathy at the same time. When the young people got out of the car, Mick gave Daisy a card with her aunt's contacts and urged her to call. Their paths diverged. Daisy needed to find her father. She saw how bad he looked when she entered her father's room. The old man did not immediately hear that Daisy had come in. The girl gently touched her father's hand, and her father opened his eyes. "Hello, Daisy." "Hello, my flower," said her father. His voice was feeble. "Dad, how are you feeling?" Daisy asked. "I'm sick and keeping you from your work. Daisy, you must go to work." Daisy could not say that she had quit. She knew the truth could have killed her father. She could not have disturbed him at that time. "Dad, you'll be fine," said Daisy. The doctor's conversation was disappointing. Father needed expensive treatment, and she had no money. Daisy was very sorry for letting her older brother take the money. They'd have gotten a lot of money if it weren't for Harry. But alas, the family did not have any savings. Daisy promised the doctor that she would bring the necessary amount, although she did not know how she would do it. Daisy walked home on foot because she had no money for a taxi. She had nowhere to go. Despite her sad mood, Daisy noticed the beauty of nature. She was mentally trying to dress on women who walked past her. Did Daisy think about her mom? What would she say to her? Would she understand if Daisy gave up her dreams? The girl decided to go to Mick's aunt's studio. The next day, Daisy came to Mr. Morris's studio. Being terrified at first, she stepped into the building. At Morrison's atelier, things were not the same as at Atmund's. Instead of fuss and creative colors, there was an atmosphere of comfort and tranquility. No one was shouting at the seamstress or throwing sketches, as Mr. Atmund sometimes did. This should be Mr. Morrison, the girl understood. Hello, Daisy said. I came to see you. If you had a job as a seamstress, I have some experience. Hello, said Mrs. Morrison. We have a job. Where did you work before? At Mr. Atman's, said Daisy. Oh, so you're the Daisy fashion designer who stole other people's ideas, said the owner. All the employees of the shop immediately looked at Daisy with curiosity. Mr. Atman strongly advised me not to hire you, continued Mrs. Morrison. Daisy's heart seemed to stop. She wanted to run away, but her feet were stuck to the floor. She thought she was ashamed. She was bitter that Mr. Atman made sure she didn't have a job. How could she prove it? Mr. Atman knows more about fabrics than humans. Can a lovely lady steal ideas? That's ridiculous. Let Mr. Atman give recommendations to whoever he wants, but I'll hire you. Daisy thought for a moment she heard wrong. Mrs. Morrison was hiring her? Daisy's joy was endless, and she waited to breathe because she was believed. I'll take anything, said Daisy. Tears of gratitude made themselves felt. Thank you. You'll thank me later, said Mrs. Morrison, while I give you some simple assignments, because I need to see you in action. Daisy took up her job with enthusiasm. She did her favorite thing again. Even when performing simple orders, she sometimes allowed herself to advise on selecting fabric and how to change the cut so that the dress or suit fit better. Mrs. Morrison was surprisingly receptive to information, not arguing. The payment for her father's treatment was near, and she had not yet earned any money. Daisy went to the bank but was turned down. She didn't dare ask for a loan, and who would she ask? By the end of the week, Mrs. Morrison called Daisy. Daisy, look, this is my best client. She urgently needs a dress for her nephew's christening. I decided to give you the order, okay? Of course, I'll do my best, said Daisy. It was the first full-scale order at that studio. Daisy tried her best, and the dress turned out fantastic. It was as strict as possible, but it did not hide the woman's beauty. The client was so pleased that she paid generously for the order and added a few tips. Mrs. Morrison gave all the money to Daisy, saying, Daisy, you've earned that money. I'm proud of you and myself for not playing along with Mr. Atman. Daisy was happy because she now had the money to pay for some of her father's treatment. She was afraid to go home with her money because her older brother was there and could have taken the cash. Daisy went straight to the hospital after work. There she met Mick by chance. What a pleasure to see you again, Daisy, said the lad. Nice to see you too, said Daisy. Thank you. Why? Mick was surprised. You gave me Mrs. Morrison's card, and now I work for her, said Daisy. Oh, so you're the intelligent, beautiful, extraordinarily talented girl my aunt tells me about every day. Daisy blushed. She didn't know Mrs. Morrison spoke so highly of her. Well, I'm happy you're working for my aunt, but don't forget one thing, said Mick. What? Daisy asked. Don't forget your dream of a collection. I'd like to see it, said the lad. Daisy felt that she had forgotten her dream. Daisy worked hard. Her father was on the mend. As time passed, Daisy suggested to Mrs. Morrison that she create her collection of dresses. The girl showed sketches that greatly inspired the owner of the studio. In a short time, the Violet Group was created and created a furor in the fashion world. Daisy not only entered the fashion world, but also proved to everyone that she did not steal ideas. Time puts everything in its place.